Alright, here we go. Let's try to finish this up. I only got a few minutes here. Let's do the A's. You could, this is x over 2. Sorry about the writing. Probably made it even worse. That's supposed to be x over 2. Alright, so it's a to the x over 2 over a to the 3x. You could do one of two things. You could subtract the exponents, right, because they're the same base. The base is the same, a. I could just subtract them, or I could just take this and bring it up to the top and make it a minus 3x, which would be the exact same thing anyway, wouldn't it? So let's just subtract. Again, let's come down here off to the side, and let's take x over 2 and subtract a 3x. Right? Put it over 1, find a common denominator, which is 2. That's going to be an x. What's this going to be? 6x. Everybody with me? You can do this quick, can't you? Right? 1 times 2, 3x times 2, which is 6x. What's 1x minus 6x? Negative 5x. Right? It's 1 minus 6. And that's over 2. And that's your exponent. So, and that's all on the top. Right? If I do that subtraction thing, it stays on the top. So really, there's no denominator to this. So it's a to the negative 5x over 2. And that's how you want to write your answer. There's no denominator on this. Now you could, if you wanted to, wouldn't be wrong, if you wanted to keep the y on the top, you could put that a on the bottom, but what would you make that a? You make it positive 5x over 2. That answer and this answer are exactly the same thing. Okay? I'm fine either way you write it. If it just says simplify and nothing else, then I'm fine with that right there. Alright? I'll tell you what, let's do one more since we're on a roll here. I think we might be able to fit it in. Let's see. Alright, and let's change this to a pen. So I've got x to the negative second plus y to the negative second, and then xy to the negative first. Now let me show you something here. I'm not going to go through a whole lot of explanation, but on this one right here, we cannot take this and flip it down to the bottom. You can only do that if everything's being multiplied. Okay? If it's being added to something else up here, you can't take it and flip it to the bottom. You can only do that when they're all being multiplied. Alright? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to keep it up in the numerator. So what if all you had was x to the negative second? How would I change that to a positive exponent? Make it what? 1 over x squared. I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to wait for your answers. Sorry. So it's 1 over x squared, right? Isn't that the same thing as x to the negative second? Should have known that. Plus, now look, the y is going to be the exact same thing. What's the y going to be? 1 over y squared. Look at the bottom. There's a couple ways you could approach this. Let's do it like this. Kind of what we did up here. See, everything was take to the negative second. I just kept it on the top. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this 1 over xy. That way we don't have any negative exponents. We don't have to worry about them. Alright, let's keep going. What I'm going to do now is take this and add those together. Well, I have to find a common denominator if I add those together. The common denominator would just be x squared y squared. Now what did you do to x squared to get to this? You multiplied it by y squared, so you do the same to the top. So I get a y squared. What'd you do to this y squared to get to this thing right here? You multiplied it by x squared, so you do the same thing to the top. That's going to be an x squared. So that's the top right there, but it's all over what? 1 over xy. You look at this, hold on just a second. You look at this, it looks real crazy, but it's really not that bad. I promise you. Tell you what, you don't have to do this. I just like the look of it better if you put x squared plus y squared. And watch, I'm going to put this over x squared y squared times instead of
SLD and after school detention day. So if you have an SLD,
instead of dividing by this, what's division? Multiplying by the reciprocal. So I multiply by xy. Now look what happens here. One of these x's cancels with one of these. One of these y's cancels with one of these. Look what I have. My final answer would be x squared plus y squared over xy, and that's the answer. If I went too fast and you couldn't hang on, then look at the YouTube. You can slow it down. All right? Start. Yeah, I do want lesson 4. Lesson 5 is your homework, so get as much of it done as you can. Lesson 5, okay? I'm going to give you one more day to do lesson 5, so if you don't finish it all tonight, it's fine, but get as much of it finished as you can.